You know the buzzword and question of what is your calling? What is the calling that God has placed upon your life? That is a great question. However, what we often mix up about it is that we often make our identity our calling, when actually our identity comes from just simply being and not doing anything. For a calling is good, needed, and everyone has one, but it should not be above who God says we are. For calling is doing, while identity is being. Being always informs doing. Therefore, being always precedes doing. Therefore, we must know our identity before we can know our calling. Being also requires nothing of us. It is something that is innate and was within us. Therefore, our identity is never something we earned. It's just simply true about who we are. How do we know our identity? We ask God and we look at the Bible. In the Bible, it says we are deeply loved, 1 John 4:19, that we are children of God, 1 John 3:1, that we are chosen to be holy and blameless, Ephesians 1:3-8, that we are a new creation, 2 Corinthians 5:17, that we are free, Galatians 3:28 and Romans 8:31-39, that we are a temple of the Holy Spirit, 1 Corinthians 6:19. But what does all of this mean for you? It is true about you, especially if you have accepted Jesus into your heart. This also means that your identity is that you are loved, chosen, cared for by God like a child. You are free, trusted, holy, new, etc. That is just a piece of who God says you are. And yes, we are all different, so we all do have our unique identities and our unique callings. And I challenge and encourage you to sit with Jesus and ask him who he says you are and what your unique identity is. One answer for me is that I'm a worshiper. I didn't say worship leader, I said worshiper. I am a worshiper of God. That is a lifestyle, not a career. This goes beyond music, for worship is so much more than that. It's beholding Jesus, it's drawing near to him. And that is another Devo for another time, explaining worship. But because I know I'm a worshiper, that does inform me of what my calling can be, but that doesn't mean that I am a worship leader and that's my full identity. That is a part of what I do, and I absolutely love it, but it is not all that I am. I also believe that we have different callings for different seasons. And I know that one day I do feel called to be a mother, but that is not right now. And so I encourage you to sit with God and ask him to show you more of who you are and where he is calling you. That your identity wouldn't be put in the things you do, but rather in who God says you are. Because at the end of the day, if your job or calling was stripped away from you, would you be okay?